welcome back to Q&A The Librarian Way. My name's Emily from TheLibrarian.com.
And I'm Julia, and I will be at a new blog soon called Stylish in the Stacks. We are back this year after a summer break. Summer didn't necessarily go as we intended. I had a baby, which I was expecting, but maybe just
I'm glad you were expecting.
maybe just not as fast as he came. Emily went on vacation and had summer reading, and so we are back for the fall now, and excited to be back with TheLibrarianWay.com and making our Q&A videos. And we decided to switch up the format this year. We watched some YouTube videos to get some inspiration, and we just kind of thought about how we could make this more conversational with you and more fun with each other. And so welcome to our little corner of the library. And we're just gonna kind of change up the format this year. So Emily, why don't you explain that part?
So we're still going to answer a question during every video, but we're going to make it more, again, conversational. So we have divided up what we're going to talk about into questions, and we're going to pull out a question at a time, all on a certain topic each month or each week. So this week we are talking about social media. So every question that we pull from the bowl, we'll talk about social media, and we're going to continue to blog throughout the week on the topic as well. So make sure you join us at TheLibrarianWay.com for more information on the topic we're talking about.
Yep, and don't forget to leave comments or questions below. We love to interact with you. So let us know what questions you have, or just tell us more about how you're using this topic in your own library. Okay, so...
You want me to pull the first one?
Yes, you're first.
Okay, I'm pulling the first one.
Go for it.
What are some basic guidelines that you set for yourself when using social media?
Okay. I think you have to be careful, especially if you're in a school library, with using social media, because whatever you put out there is out there and it's for all to see. So I think when I'm using social media, I keep it professional, but I keep it fun too. I mean, I don't want it to be boring. So you just kind of want to keep those two things in mind. You know, you want it to be enjoyable for you and for your students and for your teens. But you also have to, you know, keep it appropriate. I mean, I have to be careful. I only put students' first names if I'm going to mention a student. Yeah, I'm just kind of cautious with that.
Yeah, it's also kind of, in your situation at least, a good opportunity to have that discussion with kids about, you know, what you put out there is out there forever. So what we're trying to put out through YouTube or Facebook or Twitter as professionals leaves a print on our careers. So that's kind of neat that you're able to do that. In the public library setting, we don't have as strict of guidelines, but it's really important when you're setting those guidelines, how many times are you going to post a week? What kind of information are you going to post? Making sure you kind of have a mission and what you're trying to get across to your community. And being careful again with names. If you're using a minor, make sure you're just using first name, or get the permission of the parent if it's something that you want their full name. So it's kind of a play by ear, and we're finding in the public library setting that our guidelines are changing as we see what is being viewed more often in our social media options that we're doing. We kind of have to shift it. So it's something that's kind of fluid that we're always
you have to be flexible with it. Well, and I like how you mentioned setting like how many times you're going to post a week, because if you don't set that guideline for yourself, you might find yourself going 4 weeks without posting, and then no one's going to respect your social media site.
Or you're posting 20 times a day and everybody unfriends you.
Yeah, they're annoyed.
Like, oh my goodness, the Green Republic. So,
I don't need to know every time you read.
So those are some things I think you kind of need to take a look at.
Cool. How can you market your social media efforts?
I think this one is kind of, I know social media is marketing yourself anyway, but if people don't know that you're, you know, on these sites, what does it matter? We had yard signs made that had just the logos like the Facebook F and the Twitter birds. So they knew that we were on there and they could take a look. Every flyer that we send out, every newsletter, we have all that information. Our signatures on our emails have that information as well. So those are just a few ideas to make sure people know that you're out there and you're using those different medias.
Right, and I talk about it a lot with my students. I mean, it almost becomes shameless. Like every time I talk to a class, I'm like, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, you know.
Well, if you use like a blog for reviews, or even if you post like short reviews for Twitter or on Facebook, you could almost put that in the books. Like put a little placard or something on the book to let them know, hey, if you want a review for this book, you can go there. So as they check out books, they're getting that information too. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's really up to you. I mean, they're not going to look at your social media unless you tell them to. So it really is about like plastering it everywhere, posters and whatnot. So, yeah, I think you covered it.
And it's a new period.
Yeah, yeah, that was the bell.
We're at the school. What are some pitfalls to using social media?
Okay, so, you know, you're putting it out there for everyone to see. So if you let people comment on your blog, you're letting them comment on your blog or on your video. So, and I know that there's ways to like go back and delete comments if things get inappropriate, but you just kind of have to monitor those. Like you have to watch those because you don't want something to get affiliated with your library if maybe it's kind of inappropriate or whatever. So you kind of have to watch for those. What was it? What are the pitfalls? Yeah. I think it's making sure that you're staying up on it. You know, we kind of mentioned that, like not going 4 weeks without tweeting, you know, but again, not tweeting every 20 minutes maybe. Yeah. So you kind of got to watch for that.
And on that topic there, I know in libraries it's one more thing, and that's what it started to feel like in my library. It's one more thing we have to do, one more thing we have to take care of. Do we really have time to be playing around with social media when we're understaffed at the reference desk or trying to purchase books? So we actually created a committee. That way we could kind of minimize that stress of having to make sure we're monitoring the different things that we're doing.
Yeah.
So we have a team that works together to make sure that we post it at least 2 or 3 times a day on each thing, that we make sure there's a couple blog posts a week. So I think one of the pitfalls is time. We know it's hard to get things done, and that's one thing that you do have to monitor because of comments and because of interaction. And you don't want to leave people hanging. If they do legitimately leave a nice comment, you want to make sure to respond as well. So you're checking on this all the time.
Right.
So that time can be a big pitfall.
Definitely.
And like Julia said, making sure that you're putting stuff that really represents the library in a positive way, and that you want your community to know about. So.
Yeah, it's nice if you can kind of delegate, which you can probably do more in the public library than I can, but it's nice if you can delegate and have, you know, someone responsible for different social media sites or whatever.
Yeah.
We're coming low on time, just so you know.
Okay,
so we'll do one more. What are some of your favorite social media sites to use?
We use a lot. We have used Pinterest. We put boards for our different programs and craft clubs. And
I love Pinterest.
I do too. We have different lists, so each staff member has a list of some of their favorite books. We use YouTube. We have a YouTube channel at my library. We use Facebook. We use Twitter. We've talked about Tumblr. We haven't gone there yet. We have found that we don't want to stretch ourselves too thin, and 4 or 5 social media avenues is kind of our limit right now. And we want to make sure that when we start something new, we're using it right. And we don't really know how to use Tumblr right for our community yet, so we're kind of waiting on that one.
I like Blogger. I use Blogger as my school website instead of just using what the school provides. I love Twitter, and I love Goodreads. I'm a big fan of Goodreads.
Those are... Yeah, we have Goodreads. It hasn't really worked for us. I mean, I think people occasionally check it out, but it's not like they're on there all the time with us. And I have a problem that I keep putting things in my to-read.
I know, me too.
And I never go back and read
Oh my gosh, my to-read list is like 1,000. Seriously, it's over 1,000 books long.
And I think
not
people
are tired.
At that to pick out
They're
a book.
tired of seeing like what my to-read books are. But when I catalog books, I just add them like if they're interesting to me. So
but
I'll
I
have
don't
like 20
use
in a
it
row.
when I pick out my
I know.
newest
Oh,
one,
see, now I do. I use it.
I don't. I just like, ooh, shiny book on the shelf, and that's the one I go for. So.
Do we want to do a fun one?
Yeah, let's do a fun one.
We do have some fun questions that we put in here, but we have like less than a minute left.
What book are you most looking forward to this fall?
Oh, well, in the fall, I like to kind of pick like creepier books, and so I have not read. Well, it's fall; it's Halloween time. I really want to read *The Mask of the Red Death* by Bethany Griffin, and I haven't read it yet, and it looks like it would be something cool and creepy.
I like the cover.
Yeah, I love the cover.
I am looking forward to the sequel to *Raven Boys* by Maggie
The Dream Thieves.
Dream Thieves. So I saw it was on NetGalley, and I just can't read it yet. So I'm
It'll be
waiting
out
for
soon.
it to
I think
come out.
October.
Yeah, so it's coming. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
Well, thanks for joining us again. Please leave your comments, suggestions below. How are you using social media? We would love to hear. And make sure you join us again at TheLibrarianWay.com for more information on our topic.
Bye.
Bye.
9:48. Yes. Follow us, and so then we can go longer than 10 minutes.
And I don't have anything in my mug, and she keeps drinking, which makes me. I was gonna fake it.
I wish you would have, because I would have loved that.